5 football attacking match habits you need to develop. That's what we're going over coming up next. I've teamed up with WinXDVD to bring you a fun little contest where you can win a PS5 by guessing the winner of the Euro 2020 tournament. To enter, all you have to do is go to the first link in my description. You'll see it right there in the description. Click on that and you get 2 votes every single day to guess who you think is going to win the 2020 Euros. You can also pick who you think is going to be the best player of the tournament and do a few other fun little things on that page. And if you do that, you are entered to win a PS5 where the winner will be announced at a later date. So go guess who's going to win Euro 2020. I'm going to have to stay patriotic and say England's going to win it, even though I think France is actually going to win it. But you can vote by going to that link down below. Now let's get into the rest of the video. Also, before we start, guys, if you are new to the channel, my name is Dave and this is Simply Soccer, where I'm creating videos every single week to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. And if you haven't already, get my free ebook, Game Changer. It's a 50+ page ebook with all the different training, drills, mindset, so much more that's going to help take your game to the next level. So get that down below. Now today we're going over some attacking match habits, some habits in matches for attacking players that are just going to allow you to be more effective, be more dangerous, ultimately contribute and have a bigger impact on the match. So let's get into the first one, starting in reverse order with number 5. Now I want to get this one out of the way, which is number 5, because it's something, there's going to be a reoccurring theme of this one. At the end of the day, if you're doing this, you're probably doing pretty well in your matches as an attacking player, and it's to follow your instincts. You know, your instincts are really those in-moment, split-second instructions that your intuition or, you know, your muscle memory will give you, and they very rarely are wrong. For example, I'm an attacking player, I play forward, and whenever I've listened to my instincts around the box when it comes to shooting or what I should do, it almost has never failed me, and I've scored some incredible goals through listening to my instincts. Now, you want to make sure you are training enough so that you can actually follow your instincts. Sometimes your instincts will tell you to do something and you haven't become skillful enough to really execute it properly. So you got to put the training, obviously put in the training on the training ground in order to be able to use it effectively. But your instincts, especially if you've been playing the game a long time, you've been studying it, you've been in a lot of different situations, it will almost never lead you astray. And I found in games where I follow my instincts more than not, I end up having a good performance. In fact, in the comments, put I am following my instincts in matches so that you align and commit to that a little bit more. Put that down below in the comments, and now we'll move on to number 4. Now, number 4 is a very important one. You know, a lot of players like to get a bit egoic or prideful in matches, and they'll try and do things that they're not necessarily that good at but want to prove that they're good at. And number 4 is to play to your strengths. Look, there will be a time to work on your weaknesses. There will be a time to shore up some of the things that might be hurting your game. But when you're in a match, you want to play to your strengths and avoid your weaknesses getting into those kind of situations unless you have to, as much as you can. Now, you want to identify your weaknesses and work on those things like I said. But for example, if you're amazing at taking players one-on-one, get yourself into situations where you can do that. If you have an amazing shot and finish, you need to be getting yourself into goal scoring opportunities as often as you can. Let's say you're a striker, you're not really good at taking players one-on-one, but you have a killer finish, then don't put yourself in situations to take players one-on-one or pass it off if that situation arises, but look to get in behind, look to get those tap-ins, look to be able to turn and get that yard of space to shoot as often as you can. And so play to your strengths and work on your weaknesses in training. If you've learned something or you're enjoying this video at this point, please hit that like button and we'll move on to number 3. And number 3 is be dangerous for your position. And this is when you want to start thinking a little strategically. You know, when you're going into the match, what can I do in this particular match to be as dangerous as possible? How can I do the most damage? How can I have the most impact? And when you have this awareness and you make that your intention, you'll find you'll start doing that more often than not, I should say. So ultimately, it could be you've identified that one of their players is really weak at handling one-on-ones and you're going to target that player. You may have identified that their keeper struggles with a certain type of shot. You may have identified that running at the back line and putting them under pressure really helps your team to really score more chances or get more chances. You might notice that putting the ball, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. You might notice that a certain pass, the defense always allows you to make that splitting pass. You want to identify what allows you to do the most damage. And if the other team keeps letting you do it, keep doing it. But identify where the weaknesses in the other team are, or kind of the shaky bits in the other team's defense. Identify it and really play to that. Really allow yourself to go, where can I do the most damage? Where can I make the most impact? And really start doing that more and more. It's an amazing mindset and intention to go in with. Now, number 2 is getting into positions. Every single attacking position needs to have good movement and good awareness to get into the positions you need to be in for your position to do damage. For example, a winger that's never getting out wide and isolated isn't going to be able to do too much because their back's always going to be to goal. They're never going to get one-on-one with an opponent. A striker that's never getting in behind to score goals is going to struggle as well. As of right now, for example, Harry Kane has played 2 games for England in the Euros and hasn't scored a single goal because he's not getting into the positions he needs to be in. It's probably down to England's tactics, not Harry Kane, because his movement is typically really, really good. And they will have played their 3rd game by this point, so maybe he scored a hat trick in that game, I don't know. But as of recording this, one of the most frustrating things, especially for a goal scorer, is not getting those chances. But you have to think about, what movements do I have to make? What positions do I need to get in for my attacking position to do the most damage, like we spoke in the last one? Again, this will vary per position, but identify for your position what runs you should be making and trying, how you can get in behind, how you can get into pockets of space that will help you have an impact. So be aware of that. Movement is so important in the attacking third to free you up and do the things that are going to help you to ultimately be dangerous. And number 1 we have to go over, and it's take risks. Look, if you're an attacking player, you have to take risks. And I can tell you, when I watch football, one of the most frustrating things is when I see an attacking player never take risks. One example I'll give, and this one always annoys me because I'm a striker and I usually require service in the form of crosses from this kind of player, is a winger who will never ever take their man one-on-one and whip in a cross. They'll just play it back, or they'll just, they don't want to risk losing possession, so they'll play it back. If you're an attacking player, you have to take risks. Now, you take calculated risks. You're not going to take the risk every time. Sometimes you need to play it back. But for example, if you're good at taking players one-on-one and you get isolated with a defender, and by beating him and then whipping in a cross, it will benefit your team, then you want to be going for that sometimes. If as a striker, you have a great shot and turning quickly and shooting on frame is going to be good for your team and is effective for you, you need to be doing that sometimes. Yes, you risk missing. Yes, you risk the ball being saved or turning over possession, but you have to take risks as an attacking player. There's no reward without the risk, right? And so it's very frustrating when, especially in the attacking third, the play is very pedestrian. It's very sluggish, right? You're not taking the risk to play quickly and try and play triangles around the defense, or taking players one-on-one, or taking the shot, the cross, or the man one-on-one. You need to learn to take these risks. And look, you might take the risk, and at two or three times it might not work. If on that 4th time it does and it ends up in a goal or a great chance, no one's going to care, because that's the point. You're going to have to make risks. But if you do, and you do it smartly, you will score more goals, get more assists, help your team set up more chances, and ultimately as an attacking player, that's what you want to be looking to do. All right, guys, that's been 5 football attacking match habits you need to develop. If you develop all of the things we went over in this video, you'll just find that you're going to be a much more effective attacking player. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.